Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Even though the weather outside is disgusting, it's cold, it's wet, it's rainy. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm still fired up, Gabriel. I'm still fired up. I can't wait for this one. Part two. Part two. Guys, probably thinking, part two? Part two of what? Listen, we'll do the formal introductions on the other side of this music intro. I'm fired up. Yes, welcome back on this particular strange. I don't know what we're going to call it, Gabe. What shall we call it, man?
Oh man, I think over for you guys, it's spring, and I'm hoping the weather's lovely and nice there because I tell you what, here in Australia, where I am, it was like a lovely, beautiful sunny day, and it was about 1920, and it's supposed to be coming towards winter. So, so
Thank
I'm
you,
hoping that you
Gabriel.
got
Thank
it.
you, man. Thank you.
I think it.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, well, being a Londoner, true and true. I know, I appreciate the fact that when I have nice weather, I have to say it. Yeah, I'm just hoping that you get some of that in the back there in the UK.
Oh, thanks for that, Gabe. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, listen, I'm gonna hand it over to Gabriel. It's gonna be, if there are any questions in regards to what we're going to talk about, save it until the end. And better still, if you've got more questions, there's going to be the contact. The contact, as usual, is arsenalrepublic1@gmail.com. So we'll see how we get on. Again, if you've got any questions, we'll see whether Gabriel would like to answer the questions or not. But Gabriel, over to you, man. Over to you.
To me, yeah. So, hi everyone. My name's Gabriel. Listen, I live in at the moment, definitely a Londoner, but true and true. But I'm now living in Australia. But every now and again, well, hopefully when things get the restrictions are lifted, I can travel back to London and other countries as well. Just to let you know, guys, this is just for, as a disclaimer, this is this is for information only, only information. Only this is not any advice in terms of investment or financial advice, anything like that. This is just for information only. So that's what I want to as a put out there as a disclaimer. Okay. So what I wanted to share with you guys is just something that's very exciting. I think it's, for me, it just gets better every single week that I have to look at this and think to myself, wow, is this for real? But yeah, it's something that I just said, wow, I'm so glad that I got involved. So this is it. My story is, I'm someone who's, pretty successful in what I do in terms of my IT, as a professional. But I always said to myself that I've got to think about my plan B. Anyone, what I mean by plan B is that financially, got to make sure that, in case, because a job is, nowadays compared to what it was years ago, it's not certain. It's not something that's always guaranteed. You don't know when you're going to be out of work. And, obviously the current crisis that's been going on, a lot of people have been pushed out of work. So I just think to myself that we all have to educate ourselves about, being more, I guess, have that financial intelligence. So let's move on to the next slide. Next slide. Yep. Next slide. Is it moved on? Next slide, Alex. I'm only seeing the disclaimer.
Oh, right. So why is that then? Oh, 1 second.
Yeah.
Just wait a second. Okay, why is it doing that then?
So just to see while Alex is sorting that out, just the other thing is that the whole thing about this is that you can earn more money on just in a week. using this particular system than banks give you in a year. Now, when I talk about banks, what do we do? Banks give us, a certain amount. You could put it in just a normal current account. They give us just literally hardly anything, because by the time you look at the inflation, it's probably going to be negative at the end of the, at the end of the day, if you leave your money there in it, say over a course of 6 months to a year. Now, you can also have a term deposit as well. But again, when you term deposit, you're looking at, you'd be lucky if you'd be even getting something like 1 to 2% now at this present moment. So the whole thing about the system is, what do we want to do is it's a great thing that you can earn money while you're sleeping or while you're doing whatever you're doing, in terms of, even if you've got your work, family, whatever needs to go. What you need to get to the point is that as the wealthy or financially intelligent people do, is they make money work for themselves rather than you working for money. So that's something that's the whole idea. Next slide, please. All right. So what this the system does is that it actually works on the foreign exchange, right? And as we know, with the forex exchange, just to tell you about the foreign exchange market itself, it is 5.5 trillion in terms of US dollars. 5.5 million US dollars are traded a day. Now, just imagine that. That's right. So there is obviously a lot of money to be made in terms of, the big guns or the big traders or investors who are making money. So it would be nice if some of that is, if any individual had a piece of that, would be fantastic, because that's just a lot of money on the table. So what it is about the forex exchange is that, it's a you need someone who's actually very, very good, and I said, and in terms of experience, to be able to trade and make profits on a regular basis. And that's very difficult for somebody who's even for somebody, who's got 4 to 5 years experience. Professional traders who have had years and years experience, and a lot of them are working for the banks or big investment companies, and they're the ones who are making the money rather than the retail traders. So now just imagine that you had you could actually invest and then passively earn based on these professional traders trading for you. So let's move on to the next slide, please. So now, what I'm talking about, talk the forex exchange. I'm sure if any of you are in some way familiar with the forex exchange, you've got the obviously we're talking about currency pairs here. Here you've seen the euro against AUD. You can see the euro against the USD against the Japanese yen, or the USD against Japanese yen, etc. No, I'm just showing you here the EURD. Now, what this shows you is a chart here where the green one means it's in terms of the number of pips, and all points. The green one's showing you it's going up, and the red one is showing you it's going down. Now, unlike the stock market, right? What we do is we buy shares. And your shares are whatever, say so $1 a share, and what you want to do is you want to make money on it, right, based on the share increasing in value. Say it becomes $3 per share. Sorry, Alexa, just got the screen there. Yeah, there you go. There we go. At $3, and things like that's how we, most people want to make money on it, and then if it happens 10 times. Gone up from $1 to $10, or or pounds, or say. That's how we make money. But the thing with the foreign exchange is traders make money whether it goes up and down, or down, right? So it either goes up, they take a position out, and they say, okay, I'm going to take a position here, and I'm going to take the profit out at this particular when it reached this particular value, and that's what they do. And then if they say I'm going to go short, and then and they say I'm going to wait for it to go all the way down to in this case, if I'm looking at 1.5, blah, 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 they also make a profit. So it all depends how they determine that, and they can normally determine all that based on market. So that's fun. The market is the fundamental that affects the prices of currency. Versus there's also the technical analysis, and the technical analysis is all to do with the old things in terms of how they draw their lines, the charts, and how things go into compression, or all sorts of things like that. They to determine whether something's going to happen with the currency, whether it's going to go up and down. So those are the kind of things that I think. Going to the next slide, that just shows you another one, which is Euro GBP and GBP AUD. Now, to do this stuff, right, I'm sure you can imagine there's a lot of work that goes into it. And I tell you what, you'd be spending hours and hours, and you have to be watching screens to do this stuff. I've been there, done it for years, and watching screens, and it's kind of difficult sometimes, especially when you've got other things going on, because as I said, you could be just watching that screen, it's going all good, and you could just go off somewhere, and within a minute, the market changes in direction and could go south compared to where it wanted to go, and then you just literally could be losing money pretty fast. That's why you need professional traders to be, it would be great if they could be doing it for you, which is I think is brilliant. So let's go on to the next slide. Yeah. So as I was saying here, you can spend extensive hours of weekday trading if you want to do it yourself. The other things is that you have to make sure that you can actually automate for signals, to minimize your losses. The other thing is that you've got to make sure your emotions are intact, because emotions do affect the way you trade. You have to love Forex trading with a passion and also do it. I'll tell you what, I know guys who can do it, and they love it. They said, I just love doing it. And yes, they're making money doing it. And then most traders who are successful in trading have many years, as I said before, have many years of experience, 20, 25 years, some of the real good traders that are out there. Okay. So wouldn't it be great if we can leverage that ourselves in order to make that money work for us? So let's go on to the next one, Alex. Yeah. All right. So wouldn't it be great to earn like a professional trader? And that is the greatest thing, because that is, you can't, if you can earn like a professional trader and you don't even have to do it yourself, I think it's a win-win situation. Right. So you can get paid daily, right, from home. You don't have to do any Forex trading yourself. This system runs on autopilot 5 days a week, and you get paid, as I said. Now, if we move on to the next slide. Right. Now, I want to show you, this is what, and I do comparisons here, and these are based on facts, right? You can see your banks give you, let's just say they're on a term deposit, and they give you 1.5% a year, right? On a yearly, so that'll be roughly around whatever on a I think I put here $1,000 investment, and you get into, whatever. So you get, 0.16% a year. Imagine that. Sorry, a month. Sorry, give me that. 0.16 a month. Imagine that. Now that's what the banks will give you. And then people just go, as most people do, or a lot of people do. They say, you know what, banks giving me this. Why don't I just go into the stock market, right, and put my money there and see if I can make some money? But I haven't, and it's good. It's better than banks, obviously, because you're doing, you're taking charge of it yourself and doing whatever. And you can see, I took the facts from, the S&P 500, and in 2007 you got 21.8% a year. In 2018 it was minus 4.4% a year. And 2019 you got 31.5%, and then you got in 2020 15.76%. So that's it. Now, check the system out, and I'm just going back to January, but I'll tell you what, if I go back to even January 2020, right, these figures were actually even were slightly even higher. But I've only taken it from just January this year, based on the things that we, but just to have the current figures here, and you can see. Let me just tell you this: that is 21.78%, right, a month. The S&P 500 we're looking at, that was a year. This one is it's in January, a month. In February, 20.3%. In March, 23.99%, and in April, 23.84%. And even in May right now, we're still on track to be around about that 23 to 24% as well. So check that out. So that's just showing you what this system is. And if we go back with this system, go back to year. I think that if there was one time, I think if I remember back in January, February last year, it was hitting around about 35%, 35% return, right? And obviously now it's 21%, but who's complaining about 21.78% in a month? Those are great returns, right? Okay, so I think Alex, can just let's go on the next slide. So, if you want to know how this all works and how you can get involved, right? You can contact Alex on. I think it's giving you the Arsenal. There you go, Arsenal Republic at Gmail. I've got Arsenal Republic 1 at gmail.com. Just basically, that's how you're going to get involved. I'm willing to take any questions. Some of the questions, obviously, there's going to be a lot more detailed questions, which I cannot answer, because I think that's where you need to get in contact with us, and then you can find out more information about it.
Yeah.
So
well,
there you go.
I've got a couple of comments, Gabs. Just one from Ron Miles, who's a regular. I think he lives out in the Caribbean. And there's one here from the Conversation Club who says, "How do I sign up?" So they're right there. You need to send me an email, Arsenal Republic 1, and we can explain to you the process and the finer details there.
Absolutely.
I think that is it. There's no more comments. We had like maybe 15 people watching at any one time.
Yep.
Any more questions? Again, it's probably not the right platform to be deemed the question. So again, like Gable says, you can contact myself, arsenalpublic1 at gmail.com. No more questions?
Yep.
No more questions? Gabs, I think
that's it. And the reason being why is that sometimes you've got some, obviously questions which are more personal to yourselves, which is why you probably want to have that rather than talking it in a public forum. That's the reason why you may just have some questions which you personally want to ask about yours, because based on your situation, whatever.
Yeah.
So
brilliant.
That's all good.
Yeah. I think we're finished. Unless there's anybody else who wants to come in and ask a quick question or say a quick hi. No, I think that's it, Gabs. I think that's it.
Is it? Great stuff.
So before we finish, I want to say, Gable, again, thank you for coming on back on this. And this is going to be a regular occurrence. Not every week. We do it every other week, because I'm sure some people who are regular subscribers will miss this. So we're going to continue doing this every other week on Cannon Fodder TV.
Absolutely.
If you want to join us and how you can sign up, send us an email, arsenalrepublic1 at gmail.com, and we'll give you the finer details and the nitty gritty as to how to sign up to this opportunity. And if you want some more information, again, send us an email, ArsenalRepublic1, and we'll be here to help you out. Gabriel, I want to say a big thank you to you, because I know you've got to run off and you've got to join another thing related to the opportunity. But Gabriel, thank you again for coming back on Canon 40 TV, man.
No problem. No, yep. Thank you, guys. Have an awesome Saturday. Cheers, guys.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Nice one. So until then, I will be back in an hour's time to get back on track, give you some Arsenal news. Yeah, you know, you're not getting away that quickly. So I'll be back in an hour's time, back on Canon 40 TV. But I'm going to bid you farewell. And as we're going to go off now, Gabriel, the numbers have just shut up. But unfortunately, we've got to go, and Gabriel has to go as well. But I'll bid you guys a farewell, just a short farewell, and I'll be back in just over an hour's time to give you some more Arsenal live news on Canon 40 TV. Until then, again, Gabriel, all the way round the corner, Australia. Yeah, Gabriel. All right, guys.
Catch you guys.